Good evening, friends and neighbors. My name is Terry Carter, and I am a writer and a poet. I also have the awesome privilege of directing elder services here at our beloved West Medford Community Center. You would think that I knew how to do this after okay. All right. Welcome to our 24th monthly presentation of First Friday's Words and Music. Just let that sink in. Without a slick studio, without a substantial budget, without a single name host like Oprah or Ellen, we have made a live 2-hour program featuring community-friendly talk and great local live music. We've made it happen here at the West Medford Community Center once a month for more than 2 years now. Yes, they have let me drive the hoopty, and slowly but surely it is becoming a very respectable pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Even better, we have invited you into our historic neighborhood living room to watch, listen, and enjoy. We have also live streamed virtually every show and gotten hundreds and hundreds of views on Facebook and YouTube. So, even as we continue to watch our past shows get airplay on Medford Community Media, we will once again be videotaping tonight's program to post to Facebook Live. To everyone out there watching online, welcome to First Fridays in West Medford. Okay, so before we get started, I'd like to give a special shout out to Yvette Wilkes, a newly minted board member of the West Medford Community Center. Yvette has religiously helped us produce this work of art. I'd also like to thank the Cummings Foundation, Ken and Maura Krause, and the Medford Arts Council for their continued support of this endeavor. Bill Hager, our technically astute ED, is again manning the buttons and knobs, as well as editing our raw video for upload to YouTube and the MCM broadcast schedule. So, I don't really have to tell you why you're here tonight, but let me do just a little setup to give you a sense of why this evening is just plain different. In recent months, we've had a few dynamic, accomplished women join us for one-on-one conversations, and the result has been pretty powerful. We heard from Medford's first Black superintendent of schools, Dr. Maurice Edouard Vincent, and we've talked with Medford Family Network Director Marie Cassidy, both passionate, articulate, and highly skilled advocates for education, childhood literacy, and diversity, both determined to improve the lives of young people of Medford and their families, and both serving as role models and as a continuing inspiration for others. So where do we go from here? I'm glad you asked. We go, of course, to woman of substance number 3. And none other than the person of Medford's own Stephanie Muccini Burke. So here's the highlights. Currently serving in her second term, Mayor Stephanie M. Burke was elected in 2015 to serve the residents of Medford. As the Chief Executive Officer, she is committed to making a difference in the city through improvements to education, public safety, and infrastructure. Mayor Burke aims to continue sound fiscal management, ensure smart development that supports a diverse economy, while protecting the city's squares, business districts, neighborhoods, and preserving Medford's rich history. As the daughter of Lee and the late George Muccini, Stephanie, along with her brother Stephen, grew up in Medford's Wellington neighborhood. Stephanie and her husband Brian, that's my boy Brian, that's my partner right there, are the proud parents of Ryan and his wife Sarah, Connor, Brianna, and their pup McGregor, and grandpup Finn. I'll ask about that a little bit later. Mayor Burke graduated from Medford Public Schools, as did I, and enrolled at Suffolk University, where she earned her degree in business administration. She continued her education at Bentley University, earning a master's degree in taxation. In addition, Stephanie is a licensed certified public accountant. Mayor Burke, welcome to First Friday's Words in Music. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so I usually like to begin our conversation with a piece of poetry that sets the atmosphere. Now, I very often will write something special for the evening. Now, I think that I'll be better prepared to write about Stephanie after our conversation. So a poem is on its way. But in the meantime, let's stay with the theme Queens for 500, Alex. I'm going to try this piece from January of 2018. Most, if not all, in this room will know exactly what royalty we're celebrating. All right, paperwork here. There we go. The Queen of the Village. We didn't always do the things she wanted us to do. We couldn't always know the things that you already knew. And when we couldn't find the key to unlock every riddle, you found us each a starting place, a finish, and a middle. You very rarely chastise us, except to make us stronger. You taught us each and every day to make our dreams last longer. You taught us each our history with questions we should ponder. You taught us to seek the mystery of what waits over yonder. No one danced the way you could, beyond the reach of 90. The way you let the music move you, bubbling brown and shiny. Here among the many friends you touched each and every day, no one dares deny the love you shared along the way. The truth that you revealed to us with every poem and story reminds us how this neighborhood was graced by God's own glory. You wanted nothing more than for all of us to live in peace. You prayed with us to find the ways for anger just to cease. You pray sometimes for God's great might. You'd meditate for special insight. You'd say a little pleasing rhyme, perhaps you'd sing a song. You'd lead us in a rhythmic chant and shepherd us along. You gave yourself so freely to the center and the church. We knew just where to find you. We seldom had to search. This place we call the Ville shall ever be in your great debt. It's something that we know we must repay and not forget. You hurried at times, but you very rarely rushed. You saw the rose's beauty in each petal that you touched. Every friend's affection was reflected when you blushed. Every baby's blessing was commended when you gushed. Every heart enlightened and never a spirit crushed. You loved yourself, but rightly and not in selfish vein. You loved what God you created, but didn't begrudge the pain. You loved God's purpose in you and danced in his sweet reign. You loved God's purpose for you and the queenship of your reign. You vaulted oh so lightly over barriers of race. You held your friends so tightly that we knew our special place. You never let your dignity be challenged by deflators. Your sharing of the Trinity confounded all the haters. We marvel now in your retreat at stars you kissed in passing. All the cords you braided with the threads you are amassing. Now we know the tapestry is fine beyond surpassing. Now we see you struck beyond all demons and harassing. Few have run this marathon as gracefully as you. Few have been so loving, so forgiving, and so true. Few have weathered all the madness that your life has seen. Now they understand the reason why we call you queen. You learned to be alone, but never ever were you lonely. You couldn't be distracted by the trickster or the phony. You went before your children when the road was rough and stony. In every confrontation, you revealed your testimony. We'll try our best to dance to our own song as memories prevail. We'll try our best to move to every lyric in detail. We'll recollect the harmony you taught with your travail and love each day we spent with you along life's winding trail. We'll do our best to get back up, even if we fall. and listen to your spirit's voice every time you call. We'll learn the waltz of unity you choreograph for all, and then we'll dance together at Queen Dorothy Tucker's ball. Yes, then we'll dance together at Queen Dorothy Tucker's ball. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. So, Mayor Burke, we've scrupulously...
Please,
okay, all right, Stephanie, tonight.
Please.
We've scrupulously avoided characterizing this conversation as a political one. And while we know that it's impossible to avoid politics altogether, especially as we count down to November 5th, I really wanted to give the folks in Medford, here with us tonight and out there online, a more personal look at just plain Stephanie. I think you characterize it best. We are both, and I quote, of humble homes and small beginnings.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about that phrase. It's clearly packed with meaning to you.
Definitely. I grew up in an Italian household in Wellington. My dad worked extremely hard to put food on the table, and my mom did everything she could to make that money go as far as it could and still salt away a little bit. And I was amazed at how much she could salt away on such a limited salary. But my dad was an upholsterer, so he worked hard every single day. We had our 2 weeks vacation, the same first 2 weeks in July. Every year we went down to Cape Cod, to Swift's Beach, for many of you out there that have been there. That was our tradition, and that was it. Every single year, that's what we did. And I can remember on a hot summer night, a Thursday evening, we would go to, we called it Point of Pines, which was the very end of Revere Beach. My mom would make fried chicken. We'd have all our snacks. Our families all lived close by each other, so there'd probably be about 12 to 15 of us that would go in various cars, and we'd all meet there. And that was our fun. That was what we did during the summer, the heat of the summer. So it was sweet, and I have really fond memories of my mom. My mom's 93. She lives right down the street.
Oh, wow.
So we get to see her. Of course, we see her often, and
Yes.
we're blessed to have her. But my dad passed away very young from Alzheimer's, so it was a really hard thing for our family to do, to take care of him. But we love him to pieces,
Yes.
and we have so many wonderful memories. I was definitely a daddy's girl. Definitely a daddy's girl.
Of humble homes and small beginnings. I love it. I love it. Okay, that's outstanding stuff. So some years ago, I did several Cambridge City TV interviews with former Cambridge Mayor Ken Reeves during a time when he was working on a pretty significant redevelopment plan for the Central Square area, not politics. On at least one occasion, I engaged him in a game of word association.
Oh boy.
So on a more personal level, all politics aside, will you play a game of word association?
Of course, I'm
with me?
game.
Okay. First word, community.
Passion and love.
You want
Love.
Okay. Second word, children.
Hearts.
Third word, diversity.
Beautiful.
Fourth word, faith.
Peace.
Fifth and final word on this round, relationships.
Important.
All right, so if you could have lunch with anyone you chose, living or deceased, who would it be and why?
Well, I just told a little story. I would love to have a lunch with my dad. If I could pick anyone, it's going to get me emotional. If I could pick anyone, I would love to have him for an hour. If I couldn't pick Dad, it would, I was thinking about something like this earlier, and there is a picture of a young lady right here, and she comes to mind, this Malela, who's just an amazing young girl, and what she's endured in her country, and how she has brought so much peace to our entire world. She would be fascinating to sit down to.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so I kind of got a sense of what you like to do for fun and your favorite vacation destination when you spoke a little bit earlier. But I'm going to ask you again because as children grow into teens and then into adults, things change a little bit. So what do you like to do for fun these days?
I'm definitely, if you're talking vacations, I'm definitely a beach person.
Okay.
Definitely. When we plan a trip, it's for the sun and it's for the heat, and we basically sit on the beach all day long.
Okay.
We don't go and explore and visit museums. We like to just really relax. Life is very hectic.
Yes.
So as a family, when we're able to get away, it's just the tranquility of just sitting on a beach and gabbing and telling that story that you've already told 10 times.
Okay.
It comes up again,
Yes.
and it somehow takes a different twist. That's what we love to do. That's as a family and with our close friends, we really enjoy just relaxing in a simple way.
Okay.
I've had years where, back in my younger days when we skied,
Okay.
we would do that quite often, but we haven't skied since I think I've had children, so it's been a long time. But my kids kind of follow in those footsteps. They're definitely beach people.
Okay.
That's our enjoyment. Simple.
The apple never falls very far from
Yeah.
the tree. Any beach anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Oh. Well, our favorite place to go is Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So if I'm able to snag away a few days or a week, we'd love to go to Puerto Rico.
Condado Beach?
Condado Beach, you've got it, yes.
Yeah.
And just the people are so warm and friendly. They make you feel at home. And I just, my husband and I love going there. That's our favorite place.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, they need the tourism these
They
days.
certainly
so,
do.
you know.
We went right back after the hurricane
That's
next year
wonderful. That's
because we
fantastic.
felt it was important to
Okay.
help in that little way.
Okay. I know you don't have time, but when you have time, what are you reading?
I love crime books.
Okay.
Patricia Cornwell is one of my favorite authors, if
okay.
anyone's read her. She just has stopped writing. I've read every one of her books, and she's kind of stopped writing them now.
Yeah.
But I've read every one. And so anything that's mystery. I also love anything Boston driven. So if Boston is the theme, even if it's gory, I'll read it because it's about Boston. So that's certainly the stuff that I read when I'm trying to relax.
And you do Sue Grafton, maybe?
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I'll pick up a book and kind of just
A's
peruse
for
it.
assassination or something
Anything.
like that. Yeah.
Presidential, conspiracy, government stuff, yeah.
Okay, okay, all right. No more politics, cut it out.
We're talking literature.
So, what is your favorite New England sports team and why?
Oh my goodness, my favorite. Actually, it's the Bruins.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'll twist it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
I love hockey.
Uh-huh.
I love the Bruins. I love how they fight to the end, and that's my favorite team. So if I could pick to go to any game, it's the Bees.
All right. So who is your favorite player and why?
They're all great. Tori Krug is one of my favorites.
Oh, we talking today.
Yeah, we're talking today.
Tori Krug, yes.
I did meet Bobby Orr once, which was amazing. So,
Not worthy.
oh my goodness, just
Bobby
do the
Orr.
leap.
Yeah.
But I happened to be, Baybank happened to be a client of ours back when I was in accounting and at a CPA firm. And we were up in the Baybank's box. And I'm just sitting there, and my husband's snickering right now because we were sitting next to one another. And all of a sudden, Bobby Orr is in between us. And he just like whispered, and I was like in shock. Nothing came out of my mouth. It was like the most awesome feeling. I'll never forget it.
It's amazing. I'm told he walks on ice water.
He's amazing.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so marriage and family-wise, tell us about a few of your more significant aha moments.
Aha moments. So I can remember being at Suffolk University, sitting on the stairs at the State House, and this young chap walking by me, and he was going on to one of his internship jobs, and we kind of looked at each other for a brief second, and then go to find out we're in the same government class, and that sparked us dating, and my husband of how many years? 32 years, 33 this November.
Wow.
Yeah, so it all was, freshman year of college,
Yeah.
which is pretty awesome. We got married in 86 and had my son, my firstborn, in 88.
Okay.
And Ryan actually just got married in June.
Isn't that
Yeah, to his
fantastic?
lovely wife Sarah. So,
All right.
yeah, life
All
is
right.
good.
Okay, so children aha moments.
Every moment
Mm-hmm.
with not only my children, but when I see other kids. It's
Okay.
just instant, like bonding. I love their faces, their eyes, and the purity that comes through.
Okay.
And that instant when your eyes lock, you know that moment when you can tell it's sincere and it means something?
Yes.
I adore that moment.
Wow.
And
okay.
so I'm really lucky. I get to hang out with kids, and they're just phenomenal.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so away from your city offices, tell us about one or two of your proudest accomplishments.
Away from my city office, raising 3 children.
That'll work.
They've all graduated college, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
So I was the first generation to go to school, to go to college.
Wonderful.
And I know what it meant to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
So we certainly strive to offer the opportunity for our children to go as well.
Okay.
So we were very lucky that all 3 did go, and they're very successful young people, and they're doing well. So we're very, very proud of them. So
Wonderful.
I love that. I love our puppy. He is like the baby. I mean, McGregor is like 3. He's not even 3 yet. He's certainly our baby, and he brings highlight to the house.
Okay.
Because the kids are coming and going,
Yeah.
but the puppy's always there.
Always
so,
there.
yes,
Always there.
yes.
Okay. All right. So I don't need to ask you the dogs or cats question because you kind of already answered it. You're a dog person.
I'm a dog person. We
Okay.
have had 1 cat in my entire life.
Uh-huh.
Because that's a lot of years, right? We've had 1 cat. My daughter actually at 3 had kidney surgery. And she spent a week, I spent a week in Children's as well with her. And we came home, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. She was sitting on the little love seat, sound asleep, and one of our good friends had a litter of kitties.
Oh, okay.
So he brought this little amazing little kitty to our house. Never had a cat in my life before, never wanted a cat in my life before.
Okay. All right.
And she woke up to this little Minnie, we named her Minnie, on her lap, and it just brought her so much joy, and she was in such discomfort at the time, and it was like her teddy bear, really. And so Minnie grew, and Minnie lived, and Minnie she lived for almost 18 years with us. She just
Wow.
passed away 2 years ago. But yeah, so kitties, I have a fond place in my heart for kitties.
Okay. Okay. But if you had your druthers, it'll be a dog.
We're a dog house, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
All right. So away from, again, City Hall, what would you like to do more of in your family life?
More of. I mean, we really try to pack it in when we have time.
Okay.
We have family dinners still. Sunday, as I mentioned, Sunday was always a special day in our house. No matter what was going on,
That's right.
Sunday was not only our family, but we had our relatives that lived, we had a couple of families that lived in the Wellington area that were our relatives.
Okay.
So we all went to a house on Sunday, and that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so we still have Sunday dinners are really special in my home, and it will be forever. So we always try to be there, which is really nice. And it's a great day for my mom as well to have all the kids around. So that's always special.
Yeah.
But there's more, there's always, you'd love to have more time.
Yes, of
You know,
course.
more time with the people that you love and that
Yes.
you want to hang out with and friends. So time is valuable, but it makes you really appreciate it when you don't have that much extra time. It really makes you appreciate the moments that you do have. So
Yeah.
we're able to capture a lot of special, great moments with our friends and family in limited times.
I love that family dinner tradition. It was definitely a tradition of my family. If we didn't eat dinner together any other night, we always ate dinner together on Sunday.
Yes.
And I think that reflecting on life in West Medford as a community, you could pretty much ask any family, and that was the same with every family. You better be home for Sunday dinner.
Yes,
Right?
definitely.
All right. I mean, you probably, went to church and then you got to go out and play and do whatever, but, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever the appointed hour was,
Yes.
you'd best be home, cleaned up and sitting at that
Ready
table.
to go,
That's
yes.
right, that's
And then
right.
that once a week bath that you had, once a week bath, right? You all remember that? Once a week. And when the street lights went on, you had to be at the house.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had to be on that front porch
Yeah,
or it wasn't good.
Better be home by 11:30. Uh-huh.
Not 11.
That's fantastic. Okay, so we know what you'd like to do more of, more time with the family, more time to, to just enjoy. What do you want to do less of?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. I guess less of being on the phone, less of the minutia of all the internet and everything that we spend so much time looking at, and it really isn't anything that's of very much importance. It just kind of goes right in and out. So I think a lot of us are consumed with seeing everything, and really it's not that important.
Okay.
So if you can put the phone down, especially you young, put the phone down and talk.
Okay.
Yes.
And I think it's really important, we've really tried to strive with our children, is the face-to-face and the hand-to-hand. It's really important. So many young people you see with the phones, and mature, I'm not saying just young people, mature people too, but walking down the street, or an adult will come by and there's no contact, no connection. And so we really try to hit that home with our kids, is it's really important to communicate. And it goes a long way, and people remember it, and you remember the person you're talking to as well. So it's mutually beneficial, and it's just super important.
Okay.
And so we that's who we are. We were brought up that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a lot of kids aren't seeing that so much anymore. So we always stress that. It's super important.
Okay. So you went to Suffolk for your undergrad,
Yeah.
and then you went to Bentley and did graduate school. Any stories, any crazy stuff you aside from the gentleman sitting back there?
That's the craziest of
Yeah,
the
well,
stories.
yeah. You wanna tell us a little bit about your days at Suffolk?
Yeah, well, Suffolk's in the heart of the city, and Suffolk University, when I went, is not like Suffolk
Yeah.
University today.
That's right.
Suffolk is humongous now,
That's right.
and the campus is very widespread. We were pretty much behind Beacon Hill,
Mm-hmm.
which we had Faneuil Hall down the street, of course, too.
Okay.
So we spent a lot of time, that was where you ended up, because people lived all around the outskirts of Boston, and that's, if you were gonna hang out, that's where you did it, right there before you went home. It was a commuter school. But all through college, I worked almost, 25, 30 hours a week,
Okay.
because we had this deal with my parents. A third was scholarship, a third was me working,
Okay.
and a third, my dad happened to have a VA benefit. He was a paratrooper in the Army.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so he got flat feet from jumping out of planes. So he had a veteran's benefit because of that issue. And so his check, all the time when I was at Suffolk, went towards my tuition.
Okay.
And if I told you how much Suffolk cost back then, you'd be,
Yeah.
it's amazing how, you would be sick at what it costs today versus then. But that was our deal. So I worked every single day after classes, and I had a pretty packed schedule at school. And so that was really important, and I think it's something that stays with you. When you have to work for what you get,
That's right.
you appreciate it so
Absolutely.
much more. So
Absolutely.
certainly I knew, I helped pave the way for my education, and
Okay.
thankful that my parents were able to help me as well. And back then, it was a lot then.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah,
lot
I imagine
then.
it was.
Yeah.
I imagine it was. Okay, so graduate days.
So
at
I wasn't very
Bentley.
crazy,
No.
I guess is the point.
By then. I had Bentley as used to do recruitment of talented students for a program that I used to work for a number of years ago. And Bentley actually was one of my target schools, so I was there on their campus a lot, talking to kids, students at Bentley. What do you remember about your graduate days at Bentley?
I have fonder memories of my undergraduate years
Okay.
because you were really invested in what was going on the
Yeah.
campus.
Mm-hmm.
Grad school, I was working full time,
Okay.
going to school like late afternoon, evenings.
Yeah.
So it's not the same. You're really
Understood.
visiting the school for your classes and leaving.
Okay.
Versus undergraduate school is really where you have that camaraderie and everybody's really spends a lot of time together.
Mm-hmm.
So Bentley's a beautiful campus. My older
It
boy
is.
ended up going to Bentley as
Mhm.
well,
Yeah.
which is really, it's kind of sweet that he went there. And so I have more memories of when he was on campus
Okay, all right.
than when I was on
Uh-huh,
campus.
uh-huh.
So we got to do a lot of events with him. And
Sure.
it's different when a graduate program is much different than your undergraduate program.
Understood.
But funny story, I was at Suffolk obviously, but from a little girl, I always wanted to go to BC.
Okay.
That was my dream.
Uh-huh.
That's where I was going to college. No matter what, I was going to Boston College. And I applied, and they waitlisted me.
Uh-huh.
And I have that little Italian in me, that little Italian thing. So it was like I got called
Uh-huh.
like a month in, and they were like, "Whoa, you've gotten off the wait list. We want to take you." And I'm like, Suffolk took me on the first round. I'm not going to BC. And it was like instant. So today, anyone that plays BC, I cheer for them.
Okay.
Still to this day.
Yeah, all right.
Because I was like, just wasn't right. I didn't feel right about it. Yeah. So, and Suffolk ended up being the best decision I could have made.
Fantastic.
The professors were so invested in you.
Mhm.
And like my first job in college came from my accounting professor.
Mhm.
And from that job, they set me up with the next job. And
Yeah.
they really did like pave the way
Mhm.
in my professional career. So I went to work for a big six, and generally you just didn't, they took the BCs and the BU
Mhm.
kids, and they really weren't venturing into the little colleges. But it was because of the professors' relationships that they would actually even talk to someone from Suffolk, because we weren't treated that well back then. So it was really astounding that, I did go to, it was a big 8 then.
Mhm.
That's what they call the accounting firms.
Yeah.
Now
And
they're
then they
down to the
become
big
big
6
4.
and then big 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool that I got to go and got to work at one of those and experience it. But it was really because of my Suffolk professors. They
Fantastic.
paved the way.
Very good, very
Yeah.
good. So I want to take you back. All right, I got a time machine. I want to take you back to Medford Public Schools. Okay,
Mhm.
and I want to ask you what you remember about grade school,
Mhm.
junior high school, and high school. So start with grade school. What do you remember about that?
So I can remember first grade, I had a teacher called Miss Nahas. And she was Miss Skane, and she married a Nahas. She drove a green Tempest.
Wow.
She was brand new out of college.
Uh-huh.
And I was just enamored with her as a
Uh-huh.
teacher. And this is first grade, mind you. And then when she got married, it was like, oh, what happened? You're not Miss Skane anymore. You changed your name. And we were all like, everyone in the class just couldn't adapt to that.
Yeah.
But she stayed in the school system, and they did, I forget, it was a fundraiser, like a book-a-thon. And you got to dedicate a book to a teacher.
Okay.
So I had the Giving Tree,
Yes.
and I invited her back. She was a retired teacher by that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got to hang out a little bit, which was pretty cool as an adult to hang out with your first grade teacher. And so,
Wow.
she was really cool.
Yeah.
And then I remember Mrs. McCormick. I don't know who had Mrs. McCormick here. I went to the Osgood. But Mrs. McCormick was the second grade teacher. There were 3 second grade teachers at the time at the Osgood.
Uh-huh.
I wanted Mrs. McCormick, but of course I didn't get Mrs. McCormick, right?
Okay.
I got somebody else, and so I spent every time I could after school to hang out with Mrs. McCormick.
Okay.
And she was an amazing woman as well. So there were some great teachers at the Osgood School.
Mhm.
It was a little family place, and
Okay.
yeah, great memories of that school.
Okay, so let's move into junior high school.
I hated junior high school. I really did. We had to, so I was on Middlesex Avenue, my end of Wellington, and we had to walk to the Fellsway and take the bus up to get to where the Roberts is now, was our middle school.
Okay.
Or, my mother thought was a really good idea, I could take the bus from in front of my house, go to Medford Square, and then switch buses to the Roberts. And I wouldn't have to walk down the Fellsway.
Uh-huh.
So I spent like the first week or so all by myself doing this double bus thing. And then I finally figured out everybody else is just taking this single bus up the street. And we took the T, We took the T back then to
Okay.
middle school.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. But I was never, they were awkward years.
Uh-huh.
You know, 7th and 8th grade was definitely awkward years, I found.
Okay.
But we did good.
You made it through.
We made it through.
Okay,
We
very
definitely
good.
made it through.
Okay, so now we're now in the big time. We're at Medford High School.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you were obviously on Winthrop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Correct.
all right.
1980, class of
Okay,
80.
Class of
And
80.
your class was?
Class of 75.
Okay.
Okay.
So 1980, I was in the band during my years in high school.
Uh-huh.
So we obviously did a lot of extracurricular
Yes.
with the games, and
That's
we didn't have the competitions like our band does now. Our band today is phenomenal,
Uh-huh.
and we didn't really compete in those types of events,
Okay.
but we did all of the football games, of course, and we did our trips. We would go on this 1 or 2 trips a season where
Okay.
we would actually stay at another town's bandmates.
Mhm.
So you'd house with them.
Okay, like
Yeah.
exchange almost.
Exchange,
Yeah.
yeah, for a few days, and then you'd play with their school, and they'd play your songs and whatnot. So, yeah, so a lot of my time was spent doing that in high school.
What did you play? What instrument
Clarinet.
did you play? You played clarinet?
Clarinet.
That's one of my favorite instruments, as a
Yeah.
matter of fact. Yeah.
Yeah,
Clarinet.
clarinet. Mrs. Masha Karen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Mrs.
she was
Karen,
our
okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes. So she was
I
our
actually remember
fearless
that.
leader. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I was at the Hervey School
Mhm.
in Medford 10 years before Boston, in fact, determined through the parents that lived in this community that they would try to achieve racial balance in the schools through busing. And so West Medford parents voluntarily decided that they would allow their children to board buses to go to 3 different schools, the Dame, the Gleason, and the Waite. So I, from third grade on, went to the Waite School up on Powder House, and it's now, I think it's 2 private homes in a little park. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I had friends that went to the Gleason, I had friends that went to the Dame, but it remains, I think, probably an under-discussed piece of history, because the fact of the matter is, we went to those schools, and for the most part, it was a relatively peaceful transition of African American kids into schools that, you know, had traditionally been all white. And then I'm trying to be fair, because I shouldn't ask you questions that I'm not willing to answer myself. So then we went to the Hobbs Junior High, and the Hobbs was a rollicking place. Everybody came to the Hobbs. I mean, it was the junior high school in our area, and I remember going on stage with Karen Fury at one time and Stephanie Braxton at another time and singing. Never on a Sunday, and a bicycle built for 2 on 2 different occasions. And then I remember I had a friend that lived across the street from me. His name was Billy Vargas, and we went on the stage as Batman and Robin.
That's pretty cool.
And felt mask, green. Tights dyed Kelly green, and I wrote a poem about it, as a matter of fact. Well, it's in one of my poems. I don't think it's about that. I think it's, but anyways, school was everything. And then Medford High School, we were the first class to spend all 4 years in the new high school.
Really?
Yeah, so it was really,
That was exciting.
It was nice and shiny, and
Yeah.
everything was brand new. The lockers were new, the pool was new, the track was new. So
Beautiful.
it was, we broke it up pretty good. So by the time the class of 80 got there, I don't know what it looked like, right? But surely didn't look like it looked in 75.
So did you have open campus in
I don't-
75?
Well, I don't know what that means.
We had open campus,
Uh-huh.
so we could come and go in between classes. If you had a period off, you
Oh,
could
yeah.
leave the
Yes.
premises.
Yeah.
If you had a couple of periods off, you could walk down to the square. You could hang out in the courtyard. So it was very different than today.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
believe we had that. Yeah, no, I think it was called AWOL. I think it was absent without leave for us, and if you got caught off the premises, you know, you could probably be escorted back, maybe by law enforcement. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't fall into that category. But, wow.
So I remember
Okay.
the Brooks
Yes.
when before the old Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going there with, I think it was the Family Network. So my kids were really little, and we did some of those mommy and me classes over there.
Okay.
And at one point we had to go through, there was like a tunnel that connected one school to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, if I were a little kid, I would be petrified to be in this building going underneath this tunnel to
Yeah.
connect.
Yeah.
You were never afraid of it?
That it's funny because I believe that tunnel was rated so as a bomb shelter.
Oh, really?
So that you know those
Yeah,
little
we
placards
still
they
have
used to
them.
have
We
on the
still
side
have
of the
them
schools.
posted.
I think there was one, and that's actually where they would have
That's what we
made
did.
everybody go. But fortunately, we never had to use it for that or any other purpose. So I never do this with any of my any of the guests that I've had on the show. It's not that kind of party. So I'm going to give you the option of asking me any questions or questions that you'd like to ask.
Wow. So you grew up here.
I grew up here.
You no longer live in the area,
I live in Randolph.
but you're still very invested.
I like to think so.
So what brings you home every day?
Okay,
to
that's.
eat?
I'm glad you asked that particular question. So I think it's been somewhere around 9 years. Brian probably knows better than I do. Somewhere around 9 years that I've been coming from Randolph. And what happened is they had a young man that was doing elder services here, and he left for some various reasons, and it was Calvin Lindsay, approached me because I wasn't working full time at the time. I was really doing a lot of freelance, and he said, we've got this position at the community center, and would you like to consider it? And so I did, and we talked with some of the other folks on the board, and they offered me the position, and so I came. And the reason why I came was not, in all honesty, it wasn't so much because of the job. It was because I really, really was craving this connection with my folks, my parents, my father and my mother, and I had two brothers and a sister that all lived at the family house on Monument Street. And being out in Randolph and having my own life and church and work and everything else, I wasn't as connected to the community as I wanted to be. I didn't get out here as often as I wanted to. So I viewed this as an opportunity to do two things. One, to reconnect with my family in a real meaningful way. And then two, to give back. Because the one thing I've never really had the opportunity to, because West Medford gave me everything, I'll be honest with you. And I really hadn't had an opportunity to give back. I'd come back on occasion to maybe read a poem or MC, a celebration or something. But I hadn't really done it. So coming back was an opportunity for me to really, really sow a seed back into the community that really grew me up from a spud. So I reconnected with Brian, who was a childhood friend of mine, and Calvin, obviously. He lives in Randolph as well, so we knew each other and we go to the same church. But a lot of the folks whose friendships I really treasured, I was able to reconnect with. And Neil Armstrong is back there. We were in high school together.
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Osborne, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, hey, listen. His career has taken off, so his trajectory is taking him upwards. So if I confuse him with an astronaut, it's not that big a leap. It really isn't. But yeah, so the other thing is that throughout the trials in my family in recent years, I've been here. I've been here. My father passed in 2014, and I was here. And I don't know if I would have been around, but I wouldn't have been as present. My younger brother passed last year. My mother passed last year, all three from cancer, and I wouldn't have been as present. And I came and I was able to, kind of do the things that I needed to do. While my sisters were the caretakers, at the end time, it was necessary for somebody to kind of step in and put some things in order. So I was able to come and help the family in that way. And I don't know if it would have happened if I hadn't come back to the community center, because you always find, when you're someplace else, you always find excuses. You're always too busy, you're always going in a different direction. And I wanted this to be my direction.
Nice. That's a
So
great direction.
I came back, and I'm still here. I always say, I say this, once a year, every year, at something that we have here at the community center. Well, I don't know how much longer I'll be here, but
And when it comes to family, it's so important not to have regrets.
yeah, absolutely.
The worst thing is to carry that around with you. So it's really nice that you were present and you were with your dad and
Absolutely.
and your brother. So
I mean,
it's really
I think
important.
Ray Charles said it best in Georgia on My Mind. The road leads back to you. I remember those words from that song, because it really spoke to my spirit. The road leads back to you. So that's it. So do you have another question for me?
What is your favorite event that is hosted by the community center?
Listen, hands down, it's for hands down, it's this one. It's this one. And we do, thank you. I think we do a lot of good stuff here. I really do. I mean, we've got the building full a lot more than we ever have before. And stepping into this new building 9 years ago, and it was a blank canvas at that time. And seeing it now with the Elder Photo Project on the upper wall, and with the West Medford Afro-American Remembrance Project adorning these walls, it's really, I can't honestly say that it was my dream, because my dream was really the little army barracks, that we used to come to as kids. As far as we was concerned, it was big as it needed to be, and it served every purpose that we needed for it to serve. So, so coming here and seeing this building rising a couple stories above the ground, and seeing all the events that come together here, and now seeing all the collaborations that we have. I mean, we have folks coming to the center and doing things here that 10 years ago would never have conceived of coming to West Medford and wanting to do stuff with the Black community. And I think it makes a difference, because the Black community as it was then is no longer. And so we have to find ways to build rigor into what we do with everyone in Medford. Because everyone in Medford should matter to us the way that we've always thought that we should matter to everyone in Medford. And so,
Definitely.
It's been great. It really has been great.
And you mentioned the beautiful building,
Yeah.
and to me it's the beautiful people that are in this beautiful building that
Absolutely.
really make the difference.
Absolutely.
And it's so impactful. Beautiful.
Yeah, so I mean, we love it here. We think that the community center is really one of the city's most vital institutions, and we think it's the place where, kind of cross-pollination of cultures and ethnicities and languages can happen probably better than it can at any other place. I know, the churches are great for that, and the schools to a great extent, but it's a neighborhood institution. And neighborhood has a whole as a matter of fact, that was probably one of the other word associations that I would ask you, is what neighborhood means to you, because here it means that, you can still get a chicken dinner on Sunday at your family's place.
You can still sit on the
yeah,
front
you
porch.
can still sit on the front porch. Right,
porch.
right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can still get your crew together and head down to Sandy Beach.
Yeah,
You know.
go get some mac and cheese at Viv's house.
Yeah,
That's neighborhood.
And more likely rice and beans, but it's all good. You know,
Like
upstairs
mac and
curry
cheese.
goat. You know, hey, you know. But
So another
yeah,
question then.
absolutely.
What happened with the zip code?
02156.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal on the zip code, and a lot of people don't realize this is that
Still the hats.
the post office, as many post offices do, had its own zip code.
Yeah.
And the post office for the zip code for the post office on High Street was 02156. So if you had a post office box, your mail actually didn't get sent to 02155, it got sent to 02156. So West Medford folks have embraced that as their zip code, you know, for a very, very long time. So when you see those West Medford reunion caps, and you see 02156, it's because that's our roots. You know, we're rooted to the time when Buddy Clayton was the post office, the postmaster, you know, at the post office. And if anyone has stories to tell about those days, Buddy Clayton does. So at some point in time, we'll probably get him and sit him down here and talk to him about all the stuff that he knows about. But
I'm sure he could
you know.
share a story or two.
Oh yeah. We've already got him on video talking about the veteran experience, and when we roll out that program, there's going to be voices that a lot of people have never heard before, talking about things that, you know, they never imagined. So we're looking forward to that time. It's down the road a piece, but we're going to do it. Last words for you, parting thoughts.
Last words. This city is amazing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Our schools really prepare our kids for the real world.
Mhm.
I think that there's no shock when they enter college or the workforce. They've had a beautiful upbringing with diversity. And so I think we're really blessed to live here. It's a wonderful city. Have a little tagline that, you know, I may have lived here my whole life, but I chose to live here my whole life, and others have chosen to move here.
Okay.
But we've all chosen at some point whether we stay or whether we go. And so I'm really proud that I live here and I love this 02155 and 02156.
Yeah. Very good.
Life is good here.
Absolutely. Stephanie, it really has been a pleasure having you join us tonight.
Thank you, Tori.
You really have established a substantial legacy in the area of public service and government in Medford. Without taking sides in a contested election, particularly one in which I can't vote, I do wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
You've been a great resource and a visible, consistent supporter of this beloved community institution.
It's very beloved to me as well. So
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, as we close out the conversation segment for this Friday, folks, can we just have another robust round of applause for another true Medford queen, Mayor Stephanie Burke. Well, you're working toward it, certainly. Okay, so we get online? Is this from online?
It's for you.
Okay, so I don't know who this is, but they say, "Hi, Terry." She wants to know why you're not wearing your hat and coat.
Yeah, she drinks.
Okay, all right. I don't know if I can answer that question, but I guess I'm not wearing my hat and coat because I'm wearing my sweater and slacks. And that'll be that. I hope it works for her. I really do. Thank you all for paying attention and for being part of this. Now we're going to take a small pause for the cause, as we say, and I'll be back to give you all the 411 on tonight's musical delights. And I do mean delights. Stretch your legs, refresh at the table in the back, but don't go anywhere.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay? All right. And the first commercial is mine because I have the microphone. So the BSP, Brown Skin Poet, that's me, right, has books. He has 4 of them. If you're interested, come see me after and I can make them available to you. The poetry is wonderful, I'm just saying. And you'll enjoy yourself. It'll edify you and build you up in ways that you never thought possible. But that's another story for another day. Okay, so lots going on at the West Medford Community Center all the time, but particularly during the month of October. Tomorrow, 1:00 p.m., Mystic Makerspace, which is a collaborating partner here, is having an open house. So if you want to know what they're all about, all the different art projects and endeavors that they're engaged in, come on out at 1:00 here, and you'll be able to find out. This Monday, October 7th, Makerspace is doing another one of their drop-in workshops, and they're making painted mandala stones. And if you don't know what a mandala stone is, it's small flat stones. They're very, very brightly painted, and they're used in meditation and contemplation and just for simple decoration around the house. So mandala stones, really pretty, really easy to do, and there'll be an expert here that's available to help you, show you how to make them. In 2 weeks, Sunday, October 19th at 11 p.m., Antique Roadshow, West Medford style. We're going to have an antiques and art appraisal event. It's a collaboration between the Medford Arts Center, Mackey, and Lakota Youth Stay, which is another resident group here at the community center. And they do the exchanges with the Lakota tribe out in South Dakota. And they're doing a fundraiser here. And you can bring your treasures, and they'll have skilled appraisers on hand who can give you a sense of what your junk, what's your, excuse me, right? The drugs kick in, you never know what's gonna happen. But you can bring it in and they'll appraise it for you, okay. 3 weeks, Saturday, October 26th at 1 p.m., Don't Toss It, Fix It Clinic. An opportunity to work with a local expert on fixing everything from bikes to cell phones. Okay, so if you have devices, if you have two-wheel conveyances, if you have, there's a whole lot of different categories. We have posters and flyers out, so check that out, and you can bring it in, and an expert will help you to fix it. And then, last but not least, next week, Saturday, October 9th, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., old-fashioned ice cream social and fundraiser with ice cream and toppings by West Medford's own CB Scoops. $2.50 per person. Open to anyone and everyone. Sponsored by Anne-Marie Cunho. She's a member of the community center. She's also running for city council. And she wants to help, do some fundraising for the community center. So we're going to have an ice cream social here, and they'll have all the toppings, okay? Have your jimmies or sprinkles. Some people call them sprinkles. I don't know what that's all about. You from this area, they jimmies, okay? All right? Trying to be all fancy, sprinkles. Okay, but anyways, you can come out.
New York.
Oh, is that New York? Well, we're not in the New York state of mind. Unless somebody tells us that we are later on, okay? But anyways, notices are in the back. There are flyers for a bunch of the stuff in the back, and they'll also be posted on either the interior or the exterior bulletin board. Pay attention and please support, because we're able to do all of these things because people are starting to come out and really, really enjoy the place, and we want to keep that happening. Okay? All hearts and minds clear?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so, if you remember, the last time we got together, we were treated to an awesome set of sounds from a trio of vocalists, Rick Silberg, pianist Ben Broder, and renowned Nolans Reed player Amity Castanel. Okay? It was Fantastic. As the late, great Don Cornelius used to say, was the stone gas, honey. Tonight, joining words and music for the first time, but certainly no stranger to local folks in Medford, is one of our newest friends and an outstanding vocalist and musician. She builds herself as the lovely singer, and with good reason. Just look at her. Just look at her. Right? Lydia, the lovely singer Harrell, is one of Boston's finest musical treasures. Her sultry, soulful voice and evocative songwritings have garnered her attention and respect of the nation's finest musicians and venues. Jazz, soul is where her heart is. However, Lydia has shown an unbelievable and unbreakable ability to mold herself into any musical situation, be it performing with the Boston Pops, serenading NBA fans with the national anthem, or performing right here in Medford's Summer Music Series at the Condon Bandshell and Riverside Plaza. Lydia's dedication to the pure essence of song goes virtually unmatched. Anybody was here who, while she was warming up, knows what I'm talking about? She consistently performs in more than 150 shows a year, not only as a solo act, but also in multiple collaborations. Her most recent musical accolades include singing lead on a Bob Marley tribute album, that's Ari Baby, winning the 2015 Duke Ellington Jazz Vocal Competition, performing at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, NYC. See, we knew New York was gonna come up again. And winning the 2017 Mid-Atlantic Jazz Festival Voice Competition. She is also a voice instructor at Berklee College of Music, so she's got that going for her. Tonight, she is collaborating with her friend, this outstanding pianist in back of me here, Mr. Joel Hiller. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm West Medford welcome to Lydia, the lovely singer, Harrell and Joel Hiller. Do anything for you, or you good?
No, this is great. What you do now? What you do Sorry, sounds great. You hear it okay?
Yeah.
Let me fix this. It's too low for me.
Well, if you ever plan to move west, travel my way and take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Yeah, you can sing it with me. Red little wines from Chicago to LA. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Yeah, get your kicks on Route 66. Yeah, well it goes through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. See Amarillo, I got New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino, I get hip to this time it takes.
Yes, sir.
And you think you'll take the California trip? Yes, get your kicks on Route 66. Toot, 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 boom, 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 boom. Woo, say-do-do-do-do-do-do. Sweet, Come on, Joe. It goes through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, and Oklahoma City looks really, really pretty. You'll see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Barstow, San Bernardino. I get hip to this time it tip. And you think you'll take that California trip? Yes, get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Oh, get your kicks on Route 60. Six. Get your kicks. Thank you. why I love Joe Hiller. Isn't he great? Waited till I saw the sun. I don't know why I didn't come. No. I left you by the house of fun. Oh, I don't know why I didn't come. I don't know why. didn't come. I didn't
Set list here. Oh,
You have to do this one because it was special requested. Lullaby by a birdland, that's what I always hear when you sigh. Never in my wordland could there be ways to reveal in a phrase how I feel. Have you ever heard two turtle doves, Bill and Coo, when they love? That's the kind of magic music we make with our lips when we kiss. And there's a weepy old willow, he really knows how to cry. That's how I cry on my pillow. If you should tell me farewell and goodbye, oh, lullaby of birdland, whisper low, kiss me sweet, then we'll go flying high in birdland, high in the sky, up above, all because we're in love. La la la, la 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 la. Sweet to reveal in a phrase how I feel. Have you ever heard two turtle doves, Bill and Coo, when they love? That's the kind of magic music we make with our lips when we kiss. And there's a baby going low. He really knows how to cry. That's how I cry on my pillow. If you should tell me farewell and goodbye, let my birdland whistle low. Kiss me sweet, then we'll go. Fly high in birdland, high in the sky up above. We're in love.
Fantastic.
How's everybody feeling?
All right.
That's right. Yes.
Come on. Come on. Oh, it's okay. I see the problem.
Just give it a tempo. I don't play too fast.
1, 2, yeah. Just like that, yeah. The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup, I say a little prayer for you. While combing my hair now, finding what dress to wear now, I say a little prayer for you. Forever and ever, you stay in my heart, and I will. Forever and ever, we never will part. Oh, how I love you together. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only mean heartbreak for me. be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand right by me. Oh, stand by me, stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me, stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, I want you to know, stand by me, stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, and the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand right by me. Oh, stand by me, stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, you can stand by focus on the stand.
So this is D, right?
What was that?
It's just a little padding. I'll get it later. No big deal. Is that D?
Is that D?
Yeah. That's cool.
I know.
I know you know. I need to know. I'm confused. I want to make sure I'm not like singing too high or too low, you know. All right.
So this is a song, thank you. This is a song. Why did I write this? I wrote it. This will be the probably the only original I share tonight. But I wrote it a while ago, and I like to be positive as much as I can. Some of my songs are about like real life stuff, so then it's not so positive because you know life is tough. But this particular song is about how we need to step up our game and just keep moving forward and that kind of thing. So I hope you like it.
Sing it.
It's about that time for some change. If you don't like how things are, that's when you rearrange.
Yeah.
Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? Don't be scared, step right up. If it's half empty, come and fill your cup. But who's coming with me?
Yeah.
We gotta stop and think about what we're doing. Don't think too long, got to get busy to start this schooling. Oh, who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? I can see light under the door. Ain't nothing stopping me no more. Who's coming with me? We may feel as if we're lost and all alone.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's because, you gotta stop playing with your smartphone. Don't let anyone or anything stop you from your dreams.
Love it.
Are you coming with me?
Uh-huh. Come on, sing it. That's good.
You just never know what could happen tomorrow. So pull yourself together and let go of all that sorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me? I can see light on the door. Ain't nothing stopping me no more. Who's coming with me? Are you coming with me? Are you coming with me? Y'all coming with me?
Yeah.
Oh, are you coming with me? Are you coming with me? Come on, Aiden. How much time do we have for how many?
4 hours.
2 more? I like that answer. I just want to make sure I'm not pushing the time too much.
Two more each.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, excellent. I just wanna plan it properly, so you
It's
know.
wonderful.
Yeah,
We-
okay.
shoot.
We got coffee, we got bathrooms, we're good.
Okay, excellent. Let's do, because that's a special request too.
Is your feedback on
It's a ring, it's not, it is ringing now, yeah. So you're not like,
Okay.
crazy or anything, yeah. So this one's, so it's like,
Just give me a copy.
that's my tempo.
I give him everything. That's all I do. And if you saw my love, you'd love him too. And I love him. He gives me everything, and tenderly, the kiss my lover brings, he brings to me, and I love him. A love like ours would never ever die. As long as I have you near me,
Sing it now.
bright are the stars that shine, dark is the night. I know this love of ours could never ever die, and I love him more.
Nice. Hey, hey. That's good stuff. Yeah.
Oh, love like ours never die. As long as I have you near me, bright are the stars that shine, dark is the night. I know this love of ours could never ever die, and I love him. Whoa, Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you.
I asked for that, I'm just saying.
He asked for Lullaby of Birdland too. He put in 2 requests.
Hallelujah. Wonderful.
All right. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
What key?
Oh, it could be E flat. It's E flat. But if you needed it, yeah, I'm okay with E too. Just walk
Okay,
away.
we do it a little bit easier, I'm just.
Yeah, let's do it then. Yeah, yeah, that's fine, yep.
Give it up for Joel Hill one more time. People,
Yeah.
keep on learning. Soldiers, keep on worrying. Whoa, keep on turning. Oh, 'cause it won't be too long. Powers, keep on lying. While your people keep on dying. Oh, world, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh no. I'm so darn glad he let me try it again, 'cause my last time on earth I learned the whole world is sin. I'm so glad that I know more than I knew then. I'm gonna keep on trying till I reach the highest ground.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
teachers, keep on teaching. Preachers, keep on preaching. Oh, world, keep on turning, 'cause it won't be too long. Lovers, keep on loving. Believers, keep on believing. Oh, world, just stop sleeping, 'cause it won't be too long. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm so glad he let me try it again, 'cause my last time on earth I learned the whole world is sin. I'm so glad that I know more than I knew then. I'm gonna keep on trying till I reach the highest ground. Till I reach the highest ground. Till I reach the highest ground. Yeah, 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 yeah. No one's gonna bring me down. No, 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 no. No one's gonna bring me down. No, no. No, 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 no. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me. This is Joel Hill on the piano.
Hey, the lovely singer Harrell. Joe Pillar. Wow. Wow.
Excellent.
Woo. We really outdid ourselves tonight. We really did. That is a wrap on yet another wonderful evening of words and music. Let's just give one more warm West Medford welcome to Lydia, the lovely singer, Rel, and Joe Miller. I'll tell you what, we were entertained. I'm telling you. I also want to say thanks again to the Mayor of Medford, Stephanie Muccini-Burke, for her thoughtful conversation and candid insights. Kudos to Yvette Wilkes and Bill Hager on the technical side. And to our sponsors, the Cummins Foundation, Ken and Mara Krause, and the Medford Arts Council for their support of WMCC and First Fridays. We say thank you. Don't forget all the events that we have coming up over the next few weeks. Avail yourself of all of the activities because that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Be safe out there. All right.